I think the problem here is a basic lack of respect for the source material. And I think that's what's going wrong with basically all of these IPs. It's like superhero movies didn't get good until they started respecting the source material. And now they've stopped respecting the source material, and everything's kind of gone to shit. I think here Tolkien was specifically setting out to create a folklore for Britain, very specifically British English folklore, and I think he succeeded because it's a revered work. People love it. People study it seriously. You know, he was a professor of linguistics. He knew his mythology from across Europe, including obscure stuff that was very hard to know anything about at the time, and he brought it all together and it worked, and so it's revered, but they are approaching it in a way that isn't reverential to the source material. So they're just changing things willy-nilly, moving things around, you know, and in doing that you lose what gives it its ineffable, respectable quality. And if I hear one more person say,
well, there are dragons and magic, so there can be anything,
I will shit. I basically live in the Shire, right? It's all thatched cottages and rivers and woodland, right? So growing up in that area, I always felt hugely attached to Tolkien's work because it felt like it existed where I lived. The BBC did a radio drama version of Lord of the Rings, and I used to go up to the copse of woods on the hill, you know, and sit in the dappled sunlight and listen to that on the radio. And I don't think my experience is that peculiar compared to a lot of other people's. I've read and reread The Lord of the Rings many times. I read the whole thing over one weekend once. Yeah, it means a lot to people. There's no respect for that in a way that there is respect for things that aren't necessarily as rooted in culture and lore. I mean, if you recast Black Panther as a white guy, you would never hear the end of it, right? That would be the ultimate sin. But you can recast European characters. I mean, there is no European culture. It's a bunch of different cultures. That's another thing that annoys me. Oh, all the white people, all Caucasians have the same culture. No, fuck off. Trouble is, racists do latch on to this kind of stuff to get their message out and to feed on people's annoyance. And I recognize that happens. But that doesn't mean that it's invalid to want to see your culture, your cultural touchstones, your mythology, your history one step removed, represented accurately. And if anything, it just helps the racists to shit all over it.
Scream a monkey or a hobbit? I'm confused.
I don't know.
I think I'm Tom Bombadil, but I'm not a merry fellow.
Yeah. He's an angry Tom Bombadil. Tom Bombadil.
Yes.